All right, I hope everybody's doing great. And today we're gonna kind of switch the tide here, and I was gonna do a bit of a gear review. There's a write-up. I have a review on our website. The link's below, where you can read about my review and my experiences of these. But I wanted to do a video just so you guys can actually kind of just see a real life view of these boots. These are the Lowa. See right there, Lowa Hunters GTX EVO Extreme. They have 200 grams of thin silicate insulation. You can see the label right there. She's worn off. I've had these since 2016. I think I bought them back in May. And I've used them every season since, spring, fall. I use them a little bit in the winter when it's warm out, but that insulation doesn't go very far when it starts dipping below 20 degrees. Definitely when you're sitting, you get cold in these. But we'll start with what is probably the biggest weakness of these boots. And this is probably the least case, meaning I have several friends that run these same boots, and you can see the rand there on mine is getting pretty well destroyed. This piece about ready, I might as well just cut that off. But my buddy has the same boots. I have another friend that has the same boots. And they've all had the same trouble, and there's also been a lot worse than mine. The worst being my other friend just bought these in 2019. He used them on 2 sheep hunts, and the rand is smoked. He has to go send them in to get replaced. So that's after 1 year. What that makes me think may have happened is, one, maybe he used the wrong treatment, the leather treatment, which I use right here. This stuff's the best. Obanoff's heavy duty LP, can't be beat, I think, for leather. It is all natural beeswax. It smells like a sweet dessert, and you gotta refrain from trying to eat it because I think it smells so good. But this stuff on here works amazing. I heard reports that, guys, if you use other products like Snow Seal, or even just some of the really generic, especially if they're synthetic based, it's going to react with the glue that's inside the rand, and it's going to cause it to peel off. And when you lose this rand, you lose most of the structural integrity of that lower boot. The rand helps hold the sole onto the boot, and its biggest job is that it protects this whole lower part of the leather of the leather part of the boot from getting just shredded. And you can see there's cracks on here. And a lot of these aren't even stress cracks. These are slices from rocks. So here in Alaska, we've got shale is pretty much on every mountainside. And when you're going through shale chutes, down shale slides, it's like razor blades. And if you don't have this rand on there to protect the boot, it's gonna just slice right through that leather. So you can see the toe there. It's taken good abuse. Like I said, I've had really good luck with these. I mean, the rand is definitely deteriorating, and you can see here on the left foot, it's not nearly as bad. I think what that is probably because I probably lead with my right foot when I'm sliding downhill, or when I'm side hilling, or when I'm kicking into rocks and whatnot. So this one hasn't taken in much of an abuse, but I've also glued this one. This whole toe I glued back on with I use straight super glue. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description below, but there's a company in Seattle, is what some guy was telling me, that they will put a new sole, new rand for 75 bucks. So considering you can buy these anywhere from $350 on Amazon, which I'll put that down below if you guys want to check out that link, to most boot shops are going to be running these at $450 to 500 bucks. It's a steep price, but I think it's worth the money. I've had good luck. Like I said, I know some guys that have got these same boots and they have not had as well of luck. But man, they're a good boot. On top of that, this entire tongue is solid. So you have leather flanking all the way down, all the way into here. So there's no airspace, which is good. When you put the Obanoffs on, you can take all these laces off and you can just mash that Obanoffs protectant all down in there. And help it stay waterproof. I've had great luck with its waterproofness. Crossing creeks, walking through swamps, sitting out in driving rain for 2-3 days straight, my feet stay dry. A lot of that I think is the fact that I use the Obenaufs religiously. I use it before I go, and then when I get back I clean the boots and I reapply it. I'll even put 2 or 3 coats of this stuff. You can get these for like $8 or $9 at outdoor stores. I think you can get it on Amazon. You can get, if so, you can check it out, the link below. You can get your own. Dude, gloves, belts, I mean anything leather, this stuff is money. You know, some of the things of why I like these boots is that they are flexible. So they have some flex. Unlike some mountaineering boots, especially synthetic ones, you're gonna get a really, really stiff shank, which is a really good boot, or a really good trait for a boot where you're gonna be doing a lot of climbing, which I do a lot of climbing, but the trade-off or the caveat is that I also use these on the approach. So a lot of times I'm walking a maintained Forest Service trail, and having a little bit more of a flexible boot is going to be much easier on your knees and your back when you're walking on hard, flat, compacted trails. So the trade-off is that when you're going to be doing a lot of climbing, you're not going to have as stiff of a shank, right? So when you're kicking in and you're side hilling, you lose some of that support, which you pay for. You'll definitely, if you do run these boots or you end up buying them, you'll feel that there's some lateral strain side to side, especially when you're side hilling. You don't have as much of that rigid ankle support, so you're gonna feel that in your ankles and your calves when you do a lot of side hilling. I've had good luck with climbing. They do kick in hard. I mean, it's not a steel toe, but it's stiff, and you've had good luck with kicking in to rocks and up real steep grass chutes and stuff like that. They've done their job. So I'd probably put, I mean, north of 600, 700 miles on these. Like I said, I use them for training. I use them around for just hiking with the family. These are pretty much my go-to boots. They probably got one more season left in them, and I'll probably retire them. They're starting to lose some of their stiffness. You can just tell the rand is really starting to go, and I don't want them to totally fail in the middle of a hunt. That would be a bummer, walking around with just totally trash boots. But like I said, man, $350 to $450 is what you're probably going to spend on these, and it's a small investment. And having good footwear is probably one of the most important features of going on a backpack hunt. I mean, you can argue about a backpack and a gun and your tent and all that stuff, but you're backpack hunting, which means you're walking, which means if your feet hurt, your morale tanks and the hunt sucks. So you got to spend the money on this. I mean, I'll sacrifice the money on a gun and put it onto a footwear. That's how important I think it is. I mean, you can buy a $500-600 rifle with a budget scope and you're going to lay waste to some animals, but if you don't have the footwear, you're not even gonna make it there. So just my 2 cents on that. Shoot, I mean, that's about it. Like I said, you can check out in the description below, there's a link to our website where I have a full review of these as well, some different pictures, but I just mainly want to do this video so you guys could see the rand. Even though that is its weakness, I still think that it's a good boot, and honestly, I'll probably buy another pair when these are done. So man, thanks for watching. If you thought it was helpful, I had some good stuff to share, we appreciate a thumbs up. If you run these boots and you have an opinion or comment, or I'd love to just hear your experience, man, leave it below in the comments. I'd love to see what you think of these and your experience has been, especially with the rand and just the durability. I'd be really curious. But man, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down here in the corner. Or yeah, and we'll be back with more gear reviews, Alaska stuff, and making some gear. So we'll see you guys on the next one.